So today we're going to take a look at just one round between M80 and TSM because I thought that this was just a really cool round worth showing. And I'm first off just going to play the round for you, pretty much in its full. And then I'm going to talk about why I kind of love this round so much and why this kind of represents all the things that I love about dissecting pro Valorant. So here is the round.
But M80, they're playing this big brain game of making sure they just never approach B. It's all that conditioning. But John QT is one ult point away from that lockdown. Baiting it out, waiting, ready, just looking for that opportunity to use it, probably on B into the next round. But instead, that slow lurk up into B doesn't find much. The aftershock goes down. No one's behind bricks. But what they don't realize, though, Gus, is that 7 has A-site lockdown, a first for the series.
Absolutely he does. The trip is so deep, though. Surely they're going to assume something. Assume that there is, of course, control of some point. At some point.
Oh,
in
it's
short.
spotted.
Yeah, but 7? Once he sees that tripwire go down, he has the breach ready to react with utility, but there's only one person here on A.
Swarm grenade.
This is going to be a retake setup from TSM, if anything, and it's going to be the same game of chicken that we saw in the very first round, with Corey instead running back over towards mid, but he's actually exposed himself. He's exposed himself entirely. 7 gets spotted. The site is theirs. It's going to be a 4v5.
And through all of that, not a single piece of 7's utility had popped off. No ultimates for TSM to work with here. There is some heaven control from at least 2 of TSM, but they have to time this perfectly and play together. There's that lockdown.
Very good rotation back, but Xander might have just been a bit too impatient. He is going to re-clear it, though. Hazed hasn't come up yet.
Oh, I think Hayes is looking for exits.
Passed. Yeah, time has passed. They are going to be playing for exits, but not even... I mean, these positions for TSM back up towards spawn is a lot safer than you would expect, but it is going to be the exits. You see the cash at TSM. I honestly think that they could have scrapped together a buy.
And so I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what was so special about that round? Well, to me, this is so great because M80 managed to figure out this round from just one bit of information, pretty much. From just one thing, they figure out what they're going to do in the entire round, right? They start off towards A, but there's still plenty of time left, right? We could still go anywhere at this point if we wanted to, but Xander is about to walk up to this trip, and he's just pinged it just there. And so he walks up to the tripwire that's here from this cipher, and just off this alone, right? Just off seeing this trip, they know what they're going to do, and they know that they're going to win this round at this moment in time. Because this setup by the Cypher is a trap setup, right? I made a video on trap setups just a couple days ago. The idea is that, someone either runs into this trip or breaks this trip, and when they do, the breach is going to stun down here, and then the Cypher is going to swing off of that stun, and you're going to get a free kill, right? And with this stun, there's kind of nowhere to go, right? And so you have to break the trip, and then, you've got nowhere to go, and so you're going to be stunned, and you're going to die. Right, that's the idea. And this is a very common trap setup, to have here. Not necessarily with Cypher, but be it a Killjoy turret looking down here or whatnot. This kind of breach stun coming in short, someone being there, swinging off it. Very normal stuff, right? But Xander knows this, right? And M80 know this. As soon as they see this trip, this is not a normal trip, right? This is not where you would put a trip if you were just, happy to kind of leave short. You wouldn't put a trip there. This literally can only be a trip for a trap setup, and that potentially is part of a problem with this setup, is that maybe it's a bit too obvious that is the case. But even so, the way that they deal with it and kind of diagnose how they then should play this round, M80, is really good, because Xander just keeps pinging, and you see they even ping this, right? So they know there's a trip here, there's someone here. And they probably know the breach is there too, right? They literally know the positions of 2 players just based off this one trip. And they probably also know that this A site probably isn't guarded that heavy, right? Either there's going to be a player here and maybe someone else up here, or it's just going to be this guy, and, that's probably it if it's Cypher stuff there. Because remember, this Cypher, to put this trip here, has had to run down here, right? This is only a trip that you can place if you actually run down short, so they probably know that Cypher is there because, they've had to run down there. Or at the very least, someone else is. So you see here, Xander, he's come all the way back, right? And he's just pinging where this tripwire is, but he's come all the way back so that when this stun comes out, he's got a way out, right? He's not going to necessarily be in a dangerous situation because he's got a way out. Whilst that's going on, they then, because they know that this A site is maybe a little weak and you know, they know where one player is on this A site, they're then going to walk down long, right? They've already aftershocked this box as we saw, so they're going to walk up to the second trip here. And the second trip probably just confirms to them what they already thought in, you know, what they're going to do. They drone out mid, obviously, just to check that kind of no one's fast flanking them or anything like that, to make sure, you know, they don't get caught out there. But now they're going to go for this A exec, and they're ready, right? So the smokes start to come in. We get a nanoswarm in there as well, and we get our jet ready to come in. And so we're going to, you know, flash in onto the site. We're going to stun in as well. There goes the stun, but we're also going to get a flash here by Xander down here, right? So he's just broken the trip, so he knows that a breach utility is coming at him, and so he's going to counter flash just there, and our jet's going to instantly come in here, right? So they know, they absolutely know someone's going to be in here, maybe there's a second person in here as well, and so they just deal with those areas because they know that really that's the only danger part for them in this round, right? And so just off one bit of utility, in they come. Qualit, you see straight away, like his goal here is I'm going to updraft and I'm straight in. This is my only like job here, and Xander's coming in behind as well to crunch. Seven does put up the cage, which, you know, does give him a bit of cover, but Qualit's able to find the kill. But, you know, even if he didn't, Xander's coming right behind as well to deal with this, and the whole setup just completely breaks down. We get the spike down, and obviously from there, you know, we get the lockdown and we win the round. But just from one bit of utility, they basically managed to just have a very good chance of winning this round. Just diagnosing off one tiny bit of utility. And I just thought that was so cool, so big brain the way that they played it, right? To kind of like fake spring the trap and then just take the site with absolute ease and know exactly what you're going to do. Just really, really good stuff from M80. And this was, yeah, just a round of Valorant that I really, really enjoyed because it kind of showed you like the higher level thinking that can go into some of these rounds.